Alright, hello everyone. I'm finally here with the inventory and search command. So all these green and orange stuff I'll go over. This might be a two-part video because there's a lot to cover. So I'm thinking I'm going to make the inventory part 2. But for now, it's going to be searching any changes. But the first off, we need to go over what we actually need to do. So, as you know, this message create, don't worry about it. I'm just messing around with this. That's why it's there. The changes in interaction create. I'm pretty sure you guys know this from the staff commands. There really isn't any change that I can see. You guys know this. Creating data and everything. But here it is. If you see that you don't have something, there it is. But yeah, as for now, there's a lot of stuff here that I'll go over, but we do need a new class. So in app, we'll want to create an items class. So const items with a capital equals require, then dot for the current directory, which is static, and then utility, which is this folder, and then items.js, which will be that. You will need to make this file. And then when we go into our constructor, this.items to make a new variable for this class. Then we're sending it to new items, and we're sending in our class into items. And then we want to go down here into launch this.items.load items, which will be the method within the items class that we'll make. As for that, there's no other changes in here that I see. Everything's normal as it is. So that's all that's there, just that line of code, this line, and this. So with that out of the way, we'll then go into items.js. So inside the static, inside the utility folder, items.js, our class, simply make the items class. We'll need fs, and we'll also need collection. In the constructor, we want to send in our app, so this.app will equal to our main class that we send in, and this.items will equal to new collection. Now, our method, load items, we want to pretty much just read through the whole files, all the files, to make sure that they're there, and we know that if it did that and everything, so that everything's loaded into and has gotten everything, I guess. So again, category, then we're gonna make a category variable, fs read directory sync. Paste your where the file is. So for this one, static folder, items. That's the That's the directory we're trying to get, and we're going to filter JSON files. So you might need to make this folder. Just make it items, and we're only putting JSON files into this. Now for groups, which I'm calling them in categories, so for every file right here, for every file in our category, we want to set that file equal to require the same path to this directory plus the group, which will get materials and misc for this example. Next, now we gotta go into the file. So for every item in this file, in these files, we're going to get some information. So pretty much it will go into this file. This is our materials file. I just put a bunch of materials in with the name of the item and the value of the item to be which will hold the category that is in. Again, name, category. So again, for JSON files, open up brackets, and then you can start. Everything has to be in quotes. You need semicolons after each thing, brackets to open it up if you're going to hold information in there, and then again quotes, semicolon with the value. So key value, and that's the object. So you will have all this. So you can put just whatever you want in there. Doesn't really matter to me. As for misc, I only have one thing, mainly to show just an example of trying to switch between categories, but you can definitely add more here. Now, with that out of the way, I'm gonna go back to items. So it will get every item in there, and it will get every item in there, and it will do file item. So I'll find that item within the file, and we're getting .group. So that'll be this. So it'll be this here, the name. Will be group.split, so we're splitting this starting from where the dot is and removing all of that. So we'll get materials and we'll get materials.json, and then file, then the item in that file, and so we'll get the item in the file. .name will equal to the item, so this here will be the name. So pretty much how that works is within this file, we're going to find the item within the file. So it's going to find herbs, it's going to find mushrooms, it's going to find flask, and we're saying a value, or a key, or a variable to which is .name, our property, I guess, and we're saying that property equal to the item name, which would be getting this. And then we're going to go down to the display name. So it'll take this item, it'll split every underscore we see, every underscore it finds, and then it joins it together with a space. So what that means is when it goes into here, it's going through each and every one, and then it hits this one. What this will do is it will remove that underscore, and then which means blue mountain and flower will end up being in an array with these being separate, and then we do a dot join to join each of these with a space in between them. So it will be blue mountain flower without a underscore. And yes, this name and this name is pretty much from Skyrim, if you didn't catch on, but I didn't know what to pick. I just wanted to put in some stuff. And for materials, I'm going to be using this stuff layer for a crafting feature that I'll have to do later on in another tutorial. So might as well just put it in here now. Anyway, go back here. So that's the display name, and this the items. So it's getting this value. So it's getting this collection, and we're setting it by the name of the item, and we're actually going to grab that item that is in there and we're going to put it into the collection, and then we're going to log that all the files have been loaded. And you want to do a module that exports for this class so we can grab it in app. So yeah, that's all that change. That's that whole file. That's very important to have. Next, we'll get to this here, but all this is just another utility thing we can use. But random int, a new method, min, max, return, math.floor, math.random times max minus min plus min. So this will get, it will always include the minimum, and it will exclude the maximum, which is what we want, since technically when we do this, we want to get the index pretty much, and the index for like any array or whatever can be for it will just be from 0 to whatever. So this will ensure that. So it's 0 to like if there was like 16 elements in an array, it'll be 0 to 15, which means it'll exclude the 16. So yeah, that's what that does. But there is a way of including the highest number, and that's like doing plus min. I'm pretty sure you'll have to remove this one, but this is what you'll need for our purpose, and that's it. So that's all there is for that. So now moving up. Okay, you will need that eventually. Since you're already seen it, you can copy it, but I'll explain it later. As for JSON, this is what we'll use as well. Just make sure you're under JSONs, items.json. Open it up, make an array class. We'll make an array. Open it up and put each of these with name and category, name, category, name, category, all the way down. Just make sure it's all the items that you have here and here, right into there. Alright. And that's it for that for now until we get to here when I explain it. But yeah, so I've already explained that. I didn't see much in there. So the command. So first of all, information. I did change the pin command. You can put this if you want, but this is just a change. But I changed the options, that in the information string, which will give you the choice of this or this. So that's all that was different. Name, description, the type, required, choices, and then in our execute async, our option, we're getting the string information. Then if options equals the ping here, we'll do embed set title to pong, add fields, and then open that up, put 2 brackets, make sure you put a comma, then do for the first one name, latency, value. You want to open up with the I forgot the name. Freaking thingies. Those little fucking things. I can't think of it right now, but so you can open up a string literal and put actual code into there. So again, $, open it up with brackets. Date.now with don't forget the parentheses, minus interaction.create timestamp, then milliseconds. And then inline true, which will just set these two side by side. Name, API latency, value, math.round, interaction.client.ws.ping, then inline true to make sure they're side by side. And then we want to send that embed. And if it was the other one, it would just send pong. That's it. Anyway, with that out of the way, I will now go over not that command, but this command first. This will be important, so we'll have to go over the schema. And then for now, let's just go over this. So for now it's short. I will probably change it up to make it more interactive, but for now this is what we got. So we're going to get the command type and then items. We're going to get from, we're going to go back. So we're right now in commands folder in world. So pretty much we're going back up to commands. We're then going back up to source. And then from source we're going to static. Then to JSONs right here. Then to items.json, which is right here. We'll get this. So that's what that does. 2 dots means you're moving up. 1 dot means you're getting it in the current directory. Now since we have that, we want to do module.exports or info. You should know this. Put the name, put the description, put the type, chat input. That's it. Async execute. You should know this one. And now within that, we're going to grab the data, grab the player data. If the player data is null, then we want to send that we don't have data for this command, and it will not run the command until you have data. Then we want to set item equal to items.item list. So we'll get item.item list. And we have to do some array stuff, and then we're going to get the name here. So item list, open it up. This is what then we'll use our new method here to grab a random item. So app.utility.randomInt, we're putting the minimum to 0, right? Yep, the minimum to 0. And the maximum to items.itemList.length, and we'll put the maximum that we want to put in there. And then we're just doing .name. So once it gets the item, we're grabbing the name of that item. So once it gets a random item here, it'll go into name and then get this. And it'll go into name, it'll get this, and yeah. Then this here. This is where we go. So for now, player.update inventory. You can put this now if you haven't already put the update inventory method into the schema, but I'll go over that as soon as I'm done with this file. So player.update inventory, open brackets or parentheses, and put the item name right into there and set the value to 1, because we're adding 1 of that item to the inventory. Now if you want to do a command to remove an item, be player.update inventory item negative however many you want to remove. So if we wanted to remove 1 item, do -1, and that will remove an item. So we don't want to do it. We want to add it. So there you go. Next, we're going to send a reply. So you search the area and collected a item dot split. So this item dot split this dot join with a space, just in case if we got like a blue mountain flower. We want to do that. If there is none of these, nothing will happen. And then we want to save the player data. Make sure you do this, because if you don't, then the player data won't be saved and there won't be anything in the inventory. Anyways, now the last thing that you need to know before I get to the actual command people have been waiting for in the next episode, because it'll probably be a bit before I even explain it, but it's whatever, is this. So don't worry about all of this. This is for, I just pretty much copied it from my other bot that I'm using this stuff for. But yeah, this is all I'm doing with stuff. I haven't figured out how I'm going to use it. You guys don't really need it. I don't really need it for now, but it's there when I go to play with it. Because I don't really know where I'm going to do with this bot. It's just putting in a bunch of shit you guys want me to do. But under this and above this, so under the schema, above the export, you want to add user schema. So the schema here, dot methods, which is a property within an actual schema, and we're naming it dot update inventory. And we're setting that equal to the function item name and quantity. Now, we're starting off with the if statement. So first off, if this inventory, which is, it will go through this will be it. This represents the schema, which it will go down until it goes to inventory here, and then it will do dot has. So if this inventory has item name, and then it will run this. However, if it does not, we're going to go to else, and we're going to check if the quantity is greater than 0. So if the quantity is more than 0, this inventory set to item name quantity. So pretty much if we do not have an item already, if it's going to be a whole new item, and as long as that quantity is greater than 0. So like back in the search command, the item name, since that would, if it was a new item, we're adding 1 to it. So this will run setting the inventory collection or map or whatever you want to call it to be the key value of the item name, and the value of that key will be 1. Since it can't be less than 0, and it can't be exact, and can't be equal to 0. Now, but if it is, nothing will happen. It won't be added to the inventory. So yeah, so like if there's a command that would remove a random item and the user doesn't have some item for some whatever reason, I don't know why you would code it like that, but if you do, it wouldn't add it to the inventory. It wouldn't put a -1. It would just not run that. But anyway, back up here. Now if we do have this command, well, if we do have this item, in our inventory, we want to set the amount that item has to that inventory. It will go into the inventory. It will get our item name. So this get value, it's kind of weird how we are wording this, because it's getting the item name. However, it's not exactly getting the name of that item, it's getting the value, which is why. So when we go into here and go to inventory, since it's a map of a number, all maps will have a key and a value with that. So what will do is it will get the value of the key item name. So when we get the key item name, we're just getting its value. So if it was 1, then we'll put 1 here, and then we'll add that 1 to our quantity that we want to add. So if our quantity is 1, if we only have 1 item in that inventory, now we're adding 1 plus 1. So now the amount we want to add, or we want to set in the inventory, is equal to 2. However, if it was negative 1, this will be 0. So if the amount is less than or equal to 0, so if we have a 1 in here for the value plus negative 1, that will become 0, which would then mean that this will run. It will delete the item from the inventory. If it was 1 plus negative 2, that will then be negative 1, and it will go and delete from that inventory. However, if it's greater than 0, then we want to set the item name to the new amount. So if we have 1 item, 1 of that item, we want to add it to our quantity. So let's say 1, that would then be 2. Now we have 2 of that item. So I hope that makes sense. And that's all that you will need for that. Now that you have a way of getting data, you got data, and you saved it to the inventory you saved it to the database and you put it under inventory. Now you want to display that, which will then be where this inventory command comes in, and I'll do that in the next episode. I'm going to record right after this so that it's done and out of the way. But that's what I'm going to be doing. But I don't want to go over it in this video because this will end up being an hour video. So hope you guys found this helpful. And yeah, see ya.